We good? Everyone good? How's everyone doing? Like,
how's everyone enjoying RTX?
It's not hot outside at all, right?
The weather's been great.
Yeah. This is how we live. It's fun. So I guess we'll start by introducing our... Shut up, phone.
That might have been mine, actually.
No, it was me.
Okay, never mind. It was totally you.
Yeah.
There we go.
JK.
Okay. Now that we fixed that problem, let's really start. So this is the Cultivating a Community panel. That's a fancy name for we're trying to make this community better in some way by helping it to grow. See, the seeds have already been planted and they're going to grow, and this is the whole thing. I made it up in my head last year before we did this. Anyway, that's what we're doing here. It's mostly about community events. And we have assembled a team of experts, and we're going to talk a little bit, but we're mostly, I don't know how we're going to do that. Well, I guess we'll figure out a way. We mostly want to do Q&A and try and answer your questions about running community events. So let's get our stuff out of the way first. Bwho are you?
You're looking at me?
I'm looking at you.
Okay, baby. My name is Noobs, aka Brandon Neuberger. I've been running the RTMN Rooster Teeth Minnesota group for about 4.5 years. We're almost at 5. And Rooster Speak for about 4 years now, I believe. We just came up on our 4-year anniversary. So, yeah.
I am Jen. I am Lozelda on the site, and I have been running RT Michigan for about 2 years now. Yes, math, 2013. Yes, 2 years.
My name's Amori Navarro. I know it's Amori. It's very, very weird. But it's also Optimus on the site, and I've been running RTNY for about 1.5 years now. We're still fresh, and we're still very excited. Oh! Shout out to my peeps!
That fades very quickly.
Came prepared.
Stealing this mic. Hey guys, I'm Sarah. Most of you probably know me better as Lady Odd Duck, and I run the Angels for 2 years now.
Let's move this back a little bit so we don't have to do the rotating thing. My name's Grady. I am GB330033 on the Rooster Teeth site.
You need to change that, by the way.
It's so hard to find you. It really is.
But it's everywhere. Like, it's my thing, and it's been my thing since like 8th grade or something.
Okay.
Anyway, and I run RT SideQuest, which is a thing that I hope you have heard of because I love you. Okay, so really quick, what we want to do is talk about stuff. One of the things that I don't want to rehash things that we already covered in last year's panel, because I swear, I promise, I have the recording and I'm gonna upload it somewhere. I promise, even though I told y'all I was gonna do that like 3 months ago.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I'm saying everything.
So we don't want to rehash stuff that we've already covered in last year's panel. But we do want to talk about new and awesome things. And one of the things that I know everyone here is familiar with are not just in-person events that happen on like RT Community Day, but online events. Things like game nights and live streams and those sorts of fun things, because while it's great to hang out in a room with people, you can't always do that easily, but you can very easily hop on Xbox Live or on game on Steam or whatever and hang out with other community members. So let's talk about those things. Go.
Okay. I think, Noobs, if you want to start, because you run Rooster Speak, and it's one of the greatest things where someone could be on Xbox and PlayStation or Wii U and still be talking to each other.
Yeah, basically Rooster Speak is a TeamSpeak server that any laptop with a microphone and a pair of headset or a pair of headphones, you can hook up to it and you can basically talk about whatever you want, whether it be the latest RVB episode. We do run movie nights where it's basically like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 style thing where we watch Independence Day, and we had a lot of fun with that for 4th of July. But we do that. We do trivia nights for a bunch of random things. We do game nights typically once a week. We've been doing it a lot in Halo because now that it works somewhat, it's all right. And yeah, we basically every week we do at least 2 things. And every night though, we're online and we're just chatting with people you can get up to like 15 people in a room just chatting about whatever the heck you want. And I think we have like 6 continents going. We're waiting for Antarctica. Hoping. But yeah, it's a pretty cool community. So yeah.
So, I mean, you mentioned movie nights and things like that. Are those something that you've scheduled in advance and they happen every month or every week on the same day, or?
Yeah, we typically do 1 movie night a week on Tuesdays, and we have the community vote for it on the Rooster Teeth site. Old Rooster Teeth site. Still figuring that out, but yeah, we just have a list. You can do a suggestion for a movie every week, and if you want to run one, like whether it be a game night or a movie night, just ask us and we'll promote the crap out of it, and hopefully people show up, and they usually do. So yeah, we do that. We do movie nights every Tuesday and typically a game night either on a Wednesday, Thursday, or a Friday. So yeah.
And how many people do you typically have showing up? Is it hard to get people to show up? Because I know that's one of the things in person events.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you plan this grand event and you're going to have all these people meet up at this place, and then like 3 people show up.
Yeah. It honestly depends on the movie. If it's a movie that everybody has seen and just wants to riff on, we can get up to like 12 to 15 people some nights. And then some other movies where they're a little bit slower or they're a little bit like not many people have seen it, it's a little not risque. A little bit random of a movie, we'll get like 3 or 4, but we typically make do and we have a good time. So, yeah. And game nights typically range from 8 to, we had one game of Halo where we had a full game of 16 people just going nuts. So yeah.
So I know game nights, I know y'all both run those like for sure weekly.
Yes.
Does Michigan, do y'all?
We're a little sporadic, but
Right. And I mean, so for game night stuff, I think like y'all are, I want to know like
consistent.
how do you consistent?
How to consist. How do?
Yes.
Oh, well, we run typically 1, sometimes 2, depending on who's available, game nights a week. We're starting out PC soon, but we typically stick to Xbox and PS3. And they're usually scheduled about a week in advance. We make notices on our Twitter and our group page on the Rooster Teeth site and things like that. We usually have a pretty good turnout, 10 people a night. It's not bad.
And for us at Rooster Teeth New York Cartoon Live, we've gotten it down to where every week we have game nights, and the schedule is posted either late Sunday or early Monday. And typically we do it's either Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We had it to a point where we had a game night every week, like every day of the week. Got a little too crazy, so we dimmed it back down, especially because it's the summer, to just 2 days a week. But consistently what we have is Jackbox night, where we do Fibbage, Drawful, Word Spud, who you don't know Jack, and now Quiplash is actually really popular too. And when we do those nights are really great because even though other communities can come and like participate, you can also have Twitch audiences come and participate, and then you can get people from Twitch to come and discover Rooster Teeth and discover the greatness that is Rooster Teeth.
So
Jen looks
just
like
for, no, I'm trying to contribute and stuff. So you get to run consistent game nights. For anybody else who's trying to get this kind of thing going, what does it take for it to be consistent? Do you have the same hosts every night that have committed to always hosting on your Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Are you doing it? How are you setting that up so that way it happens every week?
We have 2 people. It's me and my buddy Garrett. We just alternate. If I can't do it, then he just hops on, and if he can't, I just hop on. We both have the similar setup, and we have pretty much, I guess, yeah, we're just dedicated to this so much that we have separated like time in our lives to do this. So like it does take that commitment. So Friday nights, if you want to go out and party, go for it. But if you want to like see a community thrive, you got to really go for it and work for it.
Cool. Awesome.
And something having like an event where we say every first Thursday of the month it's Jackbox night, and then that's what people can. Not many people that like turn up for regular game nights, but people who enjoy the Jackbox nights more, they show up for that more because they enjoy either what people put in as far as their answers on Fibbage or Quiplash or whatever, but they also they tend to find commentary funny too. So apparently I'm a funny guy. I don't know. Some people are crazy.
Funny looking.
Yay.
Oh, no, you didn't.
So it sounds like the common thread is consistency, and doing things consistently. So kind of piggybacking off of that, you all talked about how you announce these things, how you share these things with your sub communities. What do you find is the best way to advertise a game night? I mean, because there are so many different platforms out there. I mean, obviously we have the Rooster Teeth site, which bless its little heart.
It's trying. It's trying. I freaked out so hard when it updated and I couldn't find our page. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to remake it. All those people are gonna have to like re-find us. I'm gonna have to make new business cards. Like this is
So we have that.
Yeah.
Then you have things like Twitter, which obviously is limited to a certain number of characters. You've got Facebook, you've got Tumblr, you've got all of these different social media platforms. And I know for me doing side quests, I have a rotation where I post, like I plan a post and I post it on the RT site, and then I copy as much of it as I can across everything out, and I just hit 1, 2, 3, like, and just scattershot, and hopefully people see it. But what do y'all find works best?
Moving pictures works really well.
Yes.
You throw a GIF on an image, like you throw a GIF on a tweet that says, hey, we're doing this movie night, 7 a.m. And if it happens to be like The Mask starring Jim Carrey, you have The Mask going around and going crazy on that. People will click on that usually. People will go, oh, okay, I noticed that. It's a color book basically. So, but for like weekly updates and stuff like that, we typically post on the site, then Twitter and Facebook will get updated with the link to the site and like the exact like bullet points of what that week is happening. And that's been our motto for God, like 3 years now, and I think it's been working out pretty well. So that's what I do at least.
Yeah, we've kind of started doing the same thing as we finally moved to Facebook. I was a holdout. I didn't want to do it. It's because I'm old and I don't use Facebook anymore. But yeah, we kind of do the same thing. Is kind of like the big chunk of everything, the big bit of news goes out on the Rooster Teeth site. People see it in that feed there, and then that's a really easy thing to link on Twitter, on Facebook, on Tumblr, I've had people turn around and post it on Reddit. It's any social media platform you can get your little hands on is a great way to get stuff out. And pretty consistently, every time we have something go out, I get a message from somebody who goes, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was a thing, but I know a person who favorited it, so it showed up in my thing. So there is a lot to be said for the value of the social media platforms and how things can spider out. So on the one hand, for anybody who follows all of those things, if you follow the RTNY Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr or whatever you have, I'm like, you start going, okay, I saw it on the first one, I don't need to see it on the other ones. But there's always that extra reach that it gives you for that person who doesn't know it exists. So that has been amazingly helpful, not just even for game nights, but for any bit of news that goes out. So
yeah, it just like you said, and like you said also, just a social barrage. Just take advantage of everything that's out there and take advantage of linking things together, so that way when you post something on one thing, it automatically does the work for you and posts it on your other thing. So an example of that is on Twitch, we have it linked, our Twitch, to our Twitter. And when we go live, a tweet goes out. And typically we have like those Twitch bots on Twitter that will already favorite and retweet those to other people on Twitter as well. So it's a like what's that movie? That effect where it just spreads and spreads and spreads. Butterfly effect. Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Smart audience.
Smart people. Smart people today.
Yeah,
But-
I would echo. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I would echo that. Especially when you're first starting out, you really kind of have to cast a wide net. Try to get as many people in as you can that are in your community. And then once that happens and you start getting some regulars, people you see every week, you start seeing like word of mouth spread. People will tell their friends like, hey, have you played with, this group? And that's a great way to grow it too.
I'm so happy that just happened. I'm so happy.
Beautiful.
That was
Great.
wonderful. Round of applause for Tucker.
Well timed.
That's probably my favorite moment of the
I guess
day.
that leads into what I was gonna talk about next, kind of.
I would love to where you're going with that.
So I'm curious because this is something I utilized a lot on the site, and I don't want to talk about the site too much, but this is something. Okay, really, all joking aside, this is something I think is really important, and I think as a community we kind of need to make a point that this is something that's missing that we should get back. How many of y'all used the event pages? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Have you ever created an event on the site? I don't know if you've looked at them since the migration, but one of the things that's missing now is the ability to comment or any sort of forum feature for an event. So if I make an event and want people to go to it, they can no longer talk amongst themselves, which I think is a real detriment to doing the kind of things, creating events for game nights or in-person meetups and things like that. And all the event pages we used to make had long, giant comment threads, and now those are gone, and I don't know if they're coming back.
Grady, do you need a tissue?
Can you play your ringtone again? 'Cause I may look.
I see where you're segueing.
I may look sad, but that's my reaction.
It's just fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my only rant of the
So
day.
start tweeting at Adam. Just
No,
explode.
don't
At
do that.
GruffTech on Twitter. Rooster T/Adam.
It's yeah, I guess to kind of piggyback off of that. So I mean that was a feature that was fantastic and that was great, and we don't have that anymore. So that also kind of drives home the importance of using the avenues that you have
Yes.
now that you've kind of lost some of what was there. And that makes it all the more important that you have a wide net to begin with, so that way when you get one of those features chopped out, one of your channels chopped out, that it doesn't massively impact you. Like if you suddenly lost access to the Twitter, your group's Twitter because somebody hacked it, and that was what you had that in the site, that's a much bigger deal than I have Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and the site and these event pages and all of this stuff. If you lose one, it stinks, but it's not like getting one of your legs chopped out from under you. You can still get the word out, at least in some other ways.
Yeah, it's a great point. Just taking advantage of everything that is given to you, because it's all free on the internet. Making an account on Twitter, making an account on Facebook, YouTube, all this stuff, it's free and they all connect. It's great because Google's just casting their hand and controlling everything. So that's just great because it just makes one thing everything, and that just makes it easier on your end to make your life just for the communities easier.
So speaking of free,
Hey.
so one of the things that I've found, because the only online events really that we do for SideQuest, we do several 24-hour marathons for charity, and those we have had to budget out and purchase equipment and things to make things happen. So I'm curious, how much personal capital have you invested in your I mean, I'm this is like a genuine question because I feel like with SideQuest we have a kind of an unfair advantage in that we have this stream like a revenue stream through ticket sales and things like that to our events that enables us to budget for things and do stuff. I'm wondering how do you do that on a maybe a smaller scale? Like, how much do you have to, put out of your own pocket to run a really great game night or something like that?
Sure. Between the past couple Rooster Speak like actual meetup dinners and a lot of the RTM events over the last 4 years, I've probably put about $2,000 down. And yeah. It helped. I mean, it helps because we got a great community and they do volunteer money. I try to turn it away because it's like, I'm always thinking it's like, oh, don't spend money on something that was like a mistake of mine, or I was overzealous and it got too crazy. But typically people will throw money at you, which is a great thing, especially if you got a strong community backing. So yeah.
For things that we have done in RT Michigan that have required some funds, I will be honest, I don't know what the number is off the top of my head. Not 2,000. That's but it was nice that when we got started and started doing things that required money, people were pretty immediate to jump in and say, how can I help with this? Can I, I've got a 20, can I, give this to you to help pay for it? One of the things that we have figured out for anything where you're doing like anything that's event-like is, anybody can use Eventbrite. We've actually started setting up our meetups with Eventbrite. So if it's something where we're going to need to put a deposit down on something, I'll say, there's a cutoff of this day to get your tickets, and that's usually the date that a deposit is due. And that way I know exactly how many people are planning on coming, and we've got that money set aside already, ready to go. And that's been huge. That has been absolutely huge. Anybody can use Eventbrite. You can sell as few as you can sell a ticket, and it works exactly the same as if you sell however many hundreds you guys do for SideQuest. So that is a great resource as well, and it's something that you can do it if you really need equipment for your game nights, if you're doing something huge like that, or you're going to do some of the charity streaming things and you want to all get together in a venue like SideQuest has started putting together and things like that, is say there's like, a $5 donation cover to get into it, and do it as an Eventbrite thing. Make it like a ticket thing, and that can seriously help with that, because not everybody has $2,000 hanging out to be able to invest in that, and that shouldn't make you feel like you are not then able to host one of those events. Like that financial barrier can be a big one, but that shouldn't stop you from thinking about trying to do it and coming up with ways to get the people who want to be involved, get them, see if they're willing to help out with that bit too.
Oh boy, budgeting. See, at RTNY, the budget thing, that was just between me and 2 other people. And originally it was just me, and it can get intimidating, it can get scary as far as like I remember my second meetup, I rented a venue. I paid for it in full, and I didn't actually want people to pay on it, but I was like, that's just gonna be such a huge debt to me. So you know what, everyone throw me $5, whatever. And some people didn't even pay me. I didn't care though, because people showed up and they had a fun time, and we had an actual great time too. We showed up and there was like a sign for us. It was like this little thing that said "Hi RTNY community," and we all loved it. It was great, and that's what you need to take home, is that even though you don't throw this much money at an event, if people are still smiling and having fun, then you succeeded. Then you had fun, and that's what I'd like to take home after every event that we do, is people had fun. I did a good job. I can go to sleep. And as far as charity streams go, that has come out of my pocket many a time. And all those that were laughing know the struggle that I went through. And this kind of like segues into another story of mine, but I've dumped several $100s into HDMI cables, splitters, matrices, USB extension cords, Wi-Fi repeaters, to get the type of quality stream that I picture in my head onto the internet. So this way, when people tune in, they can see how great Rooster Teeth communities can be. Because we've gone to the point where every charity stream we've made has just been a tremendous success, and we've all just been so floored at the generosity that the community can provide us. And every time that we do a charity stream, I always want to outdo myself, and it drives everyone crazy because I stress out, but it's besides the point. the latest stream that we did, Operation Supply Drop, I had it set up so this way there was 2 rooms. There was the main family room, which thank for my parents that they were so kind enough to be there. We were in the family room, main TV, bunch of game cases, just monitors everywhere, just playing games, and whatever was on the big TV was being broadcasted, and then I had 2 webcams for 2 perspectives that I could switch between on my laptop. So I can show people on the couch or just people in the room in general, and then I had my other button that I hit that would switch to the dining room that I completely cleared out, put more TVs, more games cases, had another webcam over there and another microphone so that way people can see what was going on in the dining room. So if all of a sudden I heard tremendous laughter, like roaring, just whatever, I could quickly switch over and see what was going on. And I could see someone failing horribly at Mario Kart or whatever. Sorry, I had to bring that up.
Sounds like they'll hit a little close to home for
A
somebody.
little bit, sorry. And then what ends up happening is your community can surprise you, where they can turn around and they'll make it so that way you can make it to RTX. Because originally I wasn't gonna. And one day I was told I was going to a dinner, and then it didn't turn out to be a dinner. It turned out to be a picnic party in the park that my community had thrown for me. And when you get to that point, it's indescribable how it feels. And I know I've segued very far from the whole budget question, but that's just what happened when it just came from like me pushing and pushing and pushing. My community pushed back, and they helped me. And we helped actually another person get here too. And it's it's just, it seems intimidating, but if you have that drive in you, don't let numbers like money or something like that. If you have that idea, go for it. Take it. Because as the great Shia LaBeouf would say, just do it. No.
Yeah, so for the Angels, our community events are almost entirely online with the exception of some stuff we do here at RTX. So you can absolutely do that for free if you want to stream a game night. You can play PC games and get OBS or some kind of free streaming software. We invested in Elgato's for ourselves to stream that. That runs about like $160. So there is some startup cost, and as you grow there may be more, but you can absolutely start out for free. You can just have game nights, spread the word.
To bounce off that, actually, Xbox One has Twitch built in.
Yeah.
And PS4 has Twitch built in. If you just use a webcam, the PSI or the Xbox One Connect, you just have a couch. There you go, game night. Mm-hmm. Yeah. People should come over, just chilling from your Xbox. You could play split screen Minecraft or Fibbage, Quiplash, whatever, and you can just have your friends on your couch, and you don't need an Elgato, a Black Magic, or a fancy laptop. Just use the console that you already have.
Something else to know about that too is if you want to stream something that's on PC, the software that a lot of streamers use is OBS. It's open broadcast software. You just search for that. That's completely free too. It's a little weird to set up because it's free. But it's an easy free thing. It's, you know, there's tons of people who use it. Anybody who streams can help walk you through it. And that makes it so you can stream from PC too. So if you're doing online Cards Against Humanity or anything like that from that, whatever that website is, that's just a bunch of letters at the end of the alphabet. That you can do that too really, really easily. And then if you're doing a big thing like that, you don't need a webcam, or you can connect a Skype call to it and have all that audio be coming through and show the cameras that are on there. So that's another option if you're like, I don't have an Xbox One with built-in Twitch or anything like that. You can definitely, and TeamSpeak, yeah. My bad. So yeah, you could have the TeamSpeak audio coming through it too. So there's an option on any of those consoles that you could do, or if you want to go old school card game night, set up a webcam overlooking the table and connect that up to your laptop and use OBS. So you've got options across the board that don't really require, you know, you might have to buy a $20 external webcam for some of it if, you know, you want to do a card game thing. But a lot of stuff, a lot of software, a lot of is free or already built into things you already have, and you can make those work pretty without too much difficulty. And I will say this too. I'm sitting here saying OBS is not that bad to set up once you know somebody. I stream. You can talk to me. Send me a message if you're having a hard time setting up OBS. I've gotten on Skype and walked people through it. I will totally do that for anybody in this room. So.
Same. I've kind of, I would like to say I know OBS like inside and out, but I'm always constantly learning new things about the software, especially now that Windows 10 is out. It's kind of screwed things up. But with OBS, there's tons of YouTube tutorial videos that I've watched, like just hundreds of times, that help me learn how to make streams look good, how to make streams just run fast, how to make streams mobile friendly, how to make GIFs appear for that way when people follow you, they can have like a funny thing pop up just saying, thanks for the follow. And it just takes the time. You need to put in that time though to learn this stuff. And you have access, if you are on the site, you have access to all of us and many other people that stream on roosterteeth.com. You just DM us and we can tell you, okay, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do this, 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 and bam, you can have your way and you can get started.
Yes.
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 So
Yes.
we're now about halfway through.
Okay.
Do we have any other topics we would like to cover as a panel before we open up some Q&A?
I could talk about two things real quick.
Get one.
One? Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Think here. Well, the first thing for Rooster Speak, the one thing that we do that a user named Noblesteed, Dan, he started up last year, it's called the Rooster Speak Achievement Challenge League. And every month you basically get to challenge somebody to a bunch of gaming achievements, like be it Mile High Club or finishing a Minecraft 100% or anything like that. You get to send them challenges and you get paired with another random user from the site and they challenge you. And every month, every month you get a scoreboard. If you complete a challenge, you get a point. If you don't complete a challenge, you lose a point. And every month, if you have a positive score out of 3 to 5, we give you, like, he's going to be doing it starting in October, I believe, of this year. He's going to be doing at least a $10 to $15 gift every month for the winner of everything, I guess. And then we do like it's a full year thing, and then at the end it's basically like Mario Party, where whoever has the most points gets a bunch of stars and everything like that. Not really, but a bunch of points like that and a bunch of gifts, and it's a really cool idea that Dan's been doing, and he wanted me to help plug that up here. So yeah, and
That sounds awesome.
yeah,
Something related to that?
maybe
Okay.
I really love
maybe
when we have things within the community that bridge different community groups.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I'm doing some sort of lead in to something else that you want to talk about.
Also, real quick, for the Rooster Speak Achievement Challenge League, it is not just for Rooster Speak members. We've had a bunch of people come in. Anybody's invited to that. And also, like Grady just pointed out, I came up with an idea after, I believe, this young man, we had a game night between Rooster Speak and RTNY and Halo where they absolutely destroyed us. And that was ugly.
We're good.
But it got me thinking that there hasn't been really like a big wide gathering of community groups because there's so many of them. I mean, we have 5 of them up here and there's countless many more. So I came up with an idea called the Rooster Rumble, which is basically, if you've ever paid attention, I know I'm talking to the wrong demographic here, but if you've ever paid attention to like NFL or MLB or anything like that, they have like divisions and conferences.
Those are sports.
Yeah, sports. They have divisions and conferences based off of different teams, like based on geographical location or like subject matter and stuff like that. And I'm trying to get together 32 community groups, and we're going to try doing a full season where each group is challenging another group to a game, whether it be Halo, whether it be they get together if they're bordering states and they get together for a game of Foursquare. I don't know. But
Oh my god,
Right?
bowling.
Prison.
oh shit. I mean, good idea. I like this. But no, so I think I'm trying to get it all set up. The Rooster Teeth site migration kind of screwed that over for me very badly with private messages being gone. Trying to figure that out again, but eventually I plan on getting that all going and probably destroying any free time that I have organizing it. So yeah,
Those feelings.
yeah, right.
What is this free time you speak of?
I volunteer. That's my free time. But yeah, no. So basically, look out for those two things. They probably will be both starting up in October, just to give me a little bit more time to plan and organize. So, yeah. All right.
One more thing I wanted to actually plug. Two more things. To bounce off the gifts stuff, the first few meetups I did, I actually, from my years of working at GameStop, unfortunately, I collected swag beyond swag, and like posters, wristbands, hats, DLC codes, free months of Xbox Live. I had stacks. I had about 5 years saved up of Xbox Live. So I was set if I didn't do this. But then I figured to myself, having studied, unfortunately, psychology, people like positive reinforcement. So
That's code for free stuff.
yeah. So when we did our events, I would hold little contests in our events. Like people brought their 3DSs, and I would say, all right, first one to get like first place in this Mario Kart game, go. At the bowling meetup, I had, all right, first one to get a 6 and a 9, A. First one to get the 11-10 split, first one to get a strike, and whoever did that, they would come to me and say, I did it, and I would come look, verify it, and then I'd be like, all right, here's your prize, and it would be like a voucher for something or whatever. That's fortunate on my behalf because I had all that, but you can do like little things too, cupcakes, sewing stuff together. People just like being acknowledged for something great they did. And even if it's like a little contest where it's like, we want a new banner for our Facebook page, create it for us, and you will be featured. We will help like promote your page, your DeviantArt page, whatever, your Tumblr, wherever you post this stuff. We'll help you promote it because you helped us. So people like that. And then going into the social media thing, back to that, there's one more thing that I forgot to mention. GroupMe. GroupMe has been our lifeblood. It is a chat room that is just constantly happening, and you can have different chat rooms and everything like that. We have our main ones, which is just RTNY, and then we had a chat dedicated to this, which is RTNYX. We had a Fit for RTX chat. We have Game of Thrones, RVB. We had 10 little roosters. We actually have now a little challenge in ourselves to see who can get in the most chats, because it's gotten to that ridiculous point. But that's just one thing. It's a free thing that you can invite people to, and then everyone stays connected 24/7, and people can just continue chatting. And then, and on a serious note, when things go bad, people can turn to people in GroupMe. They can PM people they've spoken to on GroupMe and develop really life-lasting, that's the phrase? Life-lasting friendships? Yeah.
Long-lasting?
Long-lasting. I like life.
Lifelong.
Lifelong, long-lasting.
There you go.
Sure.
Let's just put them all together.
Venn
Synergy.
diagram of sentences.
You could just, it's just something you should utilize. It's just an idea that helped us really achieve what we are, because it just helps us stay connected, and you develop more jokes also between just your friends too. Just we have like a bunch of them on the inside, a bunch of them in side chats, and like it's great because you can also set your own nickname. Like there's a bunch of features there that you can have, and it's for mobile, PC, iOS, Android, Rock. It's great.
Awesome.
So now if we want to open the floor to anybody who has questions.
I think pretty much we're the rest of this time will be Q&A.
Yeah.
So any questions you have about what we do, how we host events, how you can get started hosting events, while we're like waiting for someone to be brave and take the first question, I just want to say last year, this is how I met you. Was at the panel.
Yep.
He got up, and I guess that was a couple months into RTNY existing, and
we only had about four meetups under our belt.
Yeah, and he was like super pumped and was like, we're gonna be awesome. You have inspired us. We're gonna be the greatest ever. And now he's on a panel.
Look at me now.
So Q&A is awesome. I love it.
All right. First question.
No
Hi,
pressure
is
on
this
whoever
working?
asks the
Cool.
question. So.
Yeah.
I'm Brad. I'm from Certain Affinity here in town. We make games. There you go.
Hi.
Thank
Hi,
you for
Brad.
coming.
Hi. How do you moderate your communities? How do you handle if there is
That is a
someone
great question.
that's not up to your standard?
I prefer a taser, personally. No.
Dart guns. You can get people at range because taser requires close.
Yeah.
Moderation's hard.
So I want to start off because it's a lot easier to moderate online. And I will say, because SideQuest, we do a lot of in-person events, there is moderation that has to occur in person as well. And that can be very, very difficult because you may be at an event and someone may be upset because so-and-so is just annoying. And you think, and there are this whole collective that thinks so-and-so is annoying, but they're out there supporting your event. Or, you know, someone made a joke that upset someone else, but it's just between two people. You kind of have to almost babysit a little bit and like, hey, we're all friends here. Let's be happy. And I have a really hard time ever trying to justify, like, you know, telling someone, oh, that's not okay, or like trying to even, you know, remove someone from an event that I hate if that ever has to come up. I mean, it's a lot easier to mute someone on a chat or block someone who's, you know, being terrible. I'll let y'all talk about online moderation a bit more, but I imagine you have some experience. And
Yeah. Croatia has hacked Rooster Speak before, or someone from Croatia at least.
No, the whole country.
The whole country just dropped. Never forget. We've had to deal with hackers. We've had to deal with quite a few trolls and just random things like that. And we've had users not like other users, and we've had to get them together and have a nice little powwow chat. And it's really just, you just gotta. It's hard to really tell people online to grow up or be adults on certain situations, but that's essentially what you have to do very politely. So if you want them to come back, they will. But yeah, it's kind of crazy with that, especially with Rooster Speak. So yeah.
I guess the best way to put it, or the moral of this is, you can't make everyone happy. Eventually, you have to learn that from the beginning. You can't make everyone happy. Someone might get hurt, someone might get offended, but the thing is, you have to try your best. You have to try your best. You have to be there for the people that show up to your events. And typically, I'd like to just set the ground rules of, like, okay, there's the plan. This is where we're going for the physical meetups. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. And when we started, I actually had a list on my phone that whoever just showed up, I would be like, all right, I'm gonna run you through my little interview, just so that way people can get to know you. So, like, are you gonna go to RTX this year? Have you ever been to cons? Do you cosplay? What games do you play? So this way you can set the friendly atmosphere, and then when people just find who they can connect better to, then it's great. Unfortunately, some people don't connect better to other people, and you do have to separate them and say, all right, let's mediate this. What's going on? How can we solve this problem? How can you guys come together and solve this problem? Then you can get to the point where someone is truly a cyberbully or someone who's really bad, and you have to remove them and you have to get rid of them because they're bad. They're just bad people. And coming from experience, it broke my heart actually sending this person home, like saying, you can't be a part of this community because you're a bad person. You don't like people. It's an unfortunate truth. Like, I know moderation is a very scary thing, but it comes with the job. You have to be strong, and you have to have actually a really good network too, because taking it all on your own can really be taxing on the mind. But the best thing is have it laid out, establish a good environment, and have fun. In the end, try and have fun, because then everyone else has fun.
Yeah, you really have to set the tone as the leader of your group as to what kind of environment you want. At the Angels, we're big on safe space, so no bullying, you know, no commenting on if someone's really bad at a game, you know, don't make fun of them. And we really want to promote, like, you can come play, you can be comfortable, we're just here to have fun. So sometimes if you're streaming, there's going to be trolls in Twitch. You can block those. But when it's a personality clash, you know, it gets a little tricky, and sometimes you have to, like, especially if it's someone who's a regular, you know, you just have to say, you know, if you don't get along with this one person, maybe, you know, avoid those nights. Because there's always going to be nights where, you know, maybe you're not feeling well, and you know, people are going to annoy you. So, you know, maybe take yourself out of that situation if that's a problem.
Yeah. I think kind of the important thing is, even if you're all coming together, you know, we've all got our groups of, you know, we all share our cold, frigid climates here in RT Michigan, and we love Rooster Teeth, and we're cold and things like that. There are just some people that just, you get enough people together in a group, there's just going to be some people who don't click, they don't mesh. And so part of the moderation is kind of diffusing the situations, but also getting to a point where everyone recognizes that you don't have to be best friends with everybody in there, and just be like, if you don't like you, that's totally fine. Just try to not make it awkward for everybody else. If you can just be civil and be polite to each other, you don't have to be buddy-buddy, but don't make everybody else uncomfortable. And sometimes some people are like, yeah, as long as I don't have to talk to that person anymore, that's fine. I can exist in the same room. And then everyone can go about their way. So it's not necessarily about making everybody friends or having to like choose a side and be like, okay, well, we're going to keep you and you have to leave. But trying to have that adult conversation. And it's awkward. It's awkward. It's like trying to tell somebody that you're friends with that they like need to shower more, and you're like, I'm really uncomfortable having to tell you that you're making people uncomfortable, or that you're really angering people and they don't want you to be here. But sometimes you have to have that conversation, and, you know, don't throw anybody under the bus. Don't name names. It's like, oh, Julie over there, can't stand you. Don't do that. I apologize if anybody here is named Julie. I just picked a name out of my hat. I'm sure you're a lovely person. It's, you know, when you start up one of these groups, you become the leader. You volunteered to do that, and it's one of those things you might have started it with the intention of being like, I'm gonna get it going and then pass it off to somebody else. Sometimes you could do that. Sometimes it's like you have to be prepared for the idea that you're going to end up kind of in charge for at least a while. You will become the face of that group. People will know that they will come to you if they have these issues where it's like, I don't like this person, and things like that. And so there's not really a good handbook for this is exactly how to run a group. You can listen to panels like this. You can talk to us, and we can tell you what we've run into and what we've done. We're not saying that was the best course of action for anything. We are not, so, you know, there's no one golden shining example of how to do things. All you can kind of do is see what other people have done, what has worked, and use that as your own kind of guideline. But you've got to also kind of be ready to do your own thing, because every situation is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, is just learn from your mistakes and try and just learn, because it is it's a taxing job being the moderator of something, anything in general. Yeah. Good question.
That was a really long answer.
Yeah, it's a really serious topic.
It is.
Anybody else?
We already had one brainstorm. Oh. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, this is for pretty much anyone other than Amari, because I've experienced it, but...
Get out.
No, I wanted to ask about when you guys do your physical meetups. Like, because in New York, we have so many... Everything is so close to everything that it's a lot easier to go, oh, you know, we want to go bowling. Well, there's 17 different bowling areas in this one block. Like, it's just New York City. How do you guys do it with it not being, like, I don't know how any of your towns are, but it not being so close to each other?
I actually do this all the time, if I can jump in on this one.
Go for it.
So I am from Michigan. It's the one that's shaped like this, although I refuse to point out where I live on my hand. So we try to spread things out over the entirety of the state. From east to west, it's about 3.5 hours, depending, you know, if you're going from the extremes. So it's not completely outrageous. If people from the east side want to go to an event on the west, they can do that. But it's far enough that some people are like, no, don't really want to do that, and that's fine. But we try to spread it out, because there are people who can't make a big drive like that, or work really weird hours and just like physically can't stay awake for things like that. So I kind of have people, there's myself, and I live on the west side, and I have another admin who lives on the east side. So we kind of have those two territories covered for local things that I wouldn't necessarily know about, for like local events, or like where's a good bowling place to go in this city on your side. And we try to alternate roughly every other event, like switches which side it's on. It's not perfect, but that does kind of help. And we try to pick something in the middle every once in a while too. And that makes it kind of easier for everybody to be able to get in on it. It does make it harder to plan. It's really hard to plan for something when you are 3 to 4 hours away or more. But but having other people in your group who maybe aren't necessarily admins, but are people that you trust to like be able to relay information for you or to know the area, they are a great resource. And a lot of them are really willing to help. Just if you're like, I'm looking for a good pizza place over in Clarkston, you know something? And they'll go, yes, I do. And then they don't have to do anything other than provide that information. You just need a starting point. And that can be incredibly helpful. So reaching out to your group, because some people, it's kind of fun to be like, yeah, I helped put this together, even if they just told you the name of a place. It's a good thing to be able to do, especially like Texas is huge, so I don't know what you do, but Michigan's nice because, like I said, it's about 3 hours, so it's not awful.
It must be nice to only have to plan events in one state, because see.
Jesus, that weird,
Want to go? Is that what this
No. Okay, so just it is.
I got your boss. I got your back, boss.
It is a like a very different situation. I mean, y'all both, in doing Michigan and Minnesota, you got a state to cover, whereas with side quests, with our main side quest events, we do events at PAX Prime East and South. We did South by Southwest this year, and we just did San Diego Comic-Con for the first time ever, and so those are all. Oh, and then of course I guess we do RTX.
Yeah, that little thing.
But those are everywhere. And so the way I always pick a venue, because we only ever do like one event at that convention, like one night, one party. The requirement pretty much is it within walking distance of the convention center, and then is it available? Meaning has Microsoft overlooked it in buying out places for their parties and things like that. That's the toughest thing at a lot of the bigger conventions. It's like, who can actually host 50 people in a private party? Because a lot of those places get rented out by, Activision or Microsoft or Sony or, whoever's doing a gigantic party. And we're just like, well, we just want to meet up with a couple people. Sorry, we're totally booked. So walking distance of wherever we are is huge for me.
Now you mentioned RTX. There's another one happening in an island somewhere. That's
What?
payback.
See, there's this really, really awesome community already that lives I hear they live entirely upside down.
Yes.
And
We're on the same page.
They already have like this super awesome set of like things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
I don't need to do that.
There you go.
I don't need to do that. Any other questions? Next question.
I
Question.
thought I was thinking briefly like somebody like chickened out or something, but
Come on.
We got like 10 minutes, I believe. Is that right?
About that much.
Oh, I like this.
Oh.
Yay!
There we go.
What is your favorite color?
Red.
Yes.
I'm very passionate about that. I love red.
Dirty red.
Blue.
Suck it blue.
I'm firmly on team purple.
Sorry. So what he said earlier about having spent $2,000 out of his own pocket kind of struck a chord with me. A recent meetup, I kind of jumped the gun and ended up dishing out about $250 myself. And then I kind of relayed over to with what Lozelda was started to talk about. I'm trying to organize meetups that are farther and farther away for the people who can't make it. I'm in Ontario from Canada, and
Thank you for coming.
and yeah, so the most recent one was about a 5-hour drive from my house. We had about 14-person attendance, which was fantastic
Nice.
for a first meetup
Yeah,
in
good
that
job.
area. But as I try and get further and further away, because Ontario, one end to the other, east to west, is probably almost 24 hours drive. So
That's a lot of hours.
Don't
Yeah.
go too much farther.
Yeah.
5 is a lot.
yeah, you know. So I'm just trying to think. Any tips on really reaching out to the far reaching communities?
Can I grab it?
I think he's got this one. Yeah.
wanna grab it?
I know what you.
No, no.
Me? Okay. Make when you have things like GroupMe and stuff like that, or your online events, people from other places come and show up, and we've had people who aren't even in New York just show up to our online event, and then they showed up to RTX with us, and now they're just one of our best friends. With New York, I won't say it's a big state, and it's hard to actually do things when the city is just so great. It's filled with so many things to do. We have done events, and we're branching out more as far as like what you're trying to do. I say keep going. Make it 4 days worth of drive. Go. If you got it, go for it, man. Because like that just means like when you get there, you can meet these people and you can see who's there, who else who shares that same passion with you, and then you can have them help you. Have them help you. Have them dedicated to that area, so this way they can start making their own spots there for their like local meetups, which is what we've actually started to do. We've started to do RTNY upstate, where like it's not really a thing where we have it branched inside, but we have someone who's dedicated to stuff upstate, someone who's dedicated to Brooklyn, someone who's dedicated to New Jersey, someone who's dedicated to Long Island, LIRR. And that's the thing though. So meet people, and because as much as you want to believe you can do this all by yourself, it helps if you have backup.
It helps a lot.
Yes.
It helps a lot.
And that's awesome that you keep trying and you keep going. Just have someone help you though, and make it easier for yourself, because then that person can meet you at that place and tell you, all right, I've got this set up, I've got this booked, and bam, we're ready to go. Like the best one that we had was just recently. We did Genericon, which is like this really small convention upstate New York. And we had a very huge attendance, and it was great. It was awesome. After the convention, we had fun but then we went around to the local area in upstate New York. We went to, I forget what diner did we go to. I don't remember. It was delicious though.
Pop quiz, come on.
That's what I was gonna get to though. We did this bouncy place. It was so
Sky
great.
Zone.
Sky
We did
Zone.
one of those too.
And it's just the most wonderful thing you can do. Like as far as just get a bunch of trampolines and jump. But
It's a lot more exhausting than you would expect. Oh my, yeah, see, yeah, you people know.
yes, we know. But just back to the point, have help. Have
Yeah.
help.
You know,
Reach out.
yeah. It's awesome to want to do everything. I totally get that. You want to have your hands in everything. It's like, I want to do all the things. But you start stretching yourself too thin, and if you get burned out, then you're not doing the best that you can. And so it's hard to keep the enthusiasm and motivation going if you're just like constantly stressing yourself and exhausting yourself trying to do it. So find those people that can help you. I've got the guy on the other side of the state, which is still only 3 hours away and like a quarter of what you've got. But it's find people, especially if they've come to the meetups and it's somebody that you kind of know and they're kind of interested in it, who can help coordinate things. You don't have to say, great, you're the one who plans for all of that. Like, you work with them, but having a point of contact closer to where you're trying to plan things takes a huge load off. And there's a lot to be said for teamwork when you're doing this kind of stuff.
Very much so. Good question.
There we go.
So I've found with things that when I have been asking people to come along to events, they're a bit hesitant, but I've always said to them, bring your friends, even if they're not involved in the community. That way you can get like a wider spread of people to come along. And you can just like grab more people in to do things. It becomes a lot more fun as well. They're like, oh, we get to introduce you all to other things that we all just absolutely adore. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say, do let people outside of the community come in and see what it's like, because that's really important. You get more people along as well. And then the people that were a bit nervous to come along in the first place, they're instantly more comfortable. And then just try and get around. Like, because I hosted an event in London and we had like 50 people turn up. And I was like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting this. And yeah, I tried to go around and chat to everyone. By the end of the day, I was just,
Good for you.
nah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Plus one.
But
ditto.
like yeah, I just found like loads of different people and just like invite friends, just get everyone to come along. And we had a great time. We had like a bunch of people that are active in the community come along as well. But we had events everywhere, like set up. So on the Facebook page, on the thing, it's good when you've got like someone in the group who's got like 1,300 followers on Twitter and goes out and actively follows everyone that they found in the UK community. So like, oh, go along to this event, have fun in London. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that.
Thank you.
Well, and see, that's
awesome.
I mean, that's definitely an example of because let's face it, everyone in this room is like super hardcore community like awesomeness, right?
Yes, thank you for coming.
If you're at RTX, you are so much more engaged and involved in the community than a ton of people who are out there who enjoy the same content that you do, just from their computer screens. They might be in 3 blocks over and you just don't know it. You do have to appeal to the people who might, maybe they just casually watch Achievement Hunter and they would never think of going to a community event. Do something very, very casual, like, maybe you're gonna just hang out and watch a movie, and it's not gonna be a super engaged thing. Like, you're all of a sudden gonna dunk them in a pool of community-ness. You just it's like you said, bring a friend and we're just hanging out. That's always a better way of getting people involved, rather than just expecting this baptism by fire of, hey, meet all of my friends from the internet.
They don't bite, I swear.
All right.
Some of them don't.
If we have one, we could do one last question, very quick.
Nice. Exciting.
So we all get burned out. How do you keep your community going when you have those tough times where you're feeling no motivation whatsoever to continue doing what you do?
Basically, like the answer from the last one, get help. Get people that are also really wanting to get involved and just accept it. Like, I've been burned out on many things, but I've had a lot of friends and fellow admins of Rooster Speak, and yeah. But had them help me out in some very tough times, even if it's just personal stuff. It's insane how helpful other people can be, and just allow them to be that.
Yeah. And they can help kind of they can help minimize the rate at which you get burned out, because you can kind of share some of those responsibilities. And if you do reach a point of total, I can't do this anymore, you do kind of have that backup kind of thing, and you kind of help balance each other out, which is really nice. There's a lot to be said for the teamwork. So sometimes you reach burnout and you have to at least push through the end of whatever it is what you're doing right now, and then talk to whoever your help is and be like, I need a break. I need to step back for a little bit. I had some things that were going on personally, like this last fall, that I was like, I can't do this other stuff right now. I just need you to do this. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I just need to go. And as long as your partner, fellow admin is not a total jerkwad, they will go absolutely, and you can kind of trust that your group is in good hands while you're having to do that or step back and recharge.
Teamwork.
I think we're out of time.
Just have help.
So I will say, in addition to the mantra of find help, get help, accept help.
Yes.
Because that's something that took me a while to do, and if I didn't, I would have worked myself to death probably 10 times now. But accepting help from other people who want to help you and want to be involved in your community and want to do stuff, there's no reason why you can't let them in. You don't have to have your name in lights over the top of your community, because you shouldn't. It's the community. So accept offers of help from other people, and yeah, you'll be much better off for it.
Yeah. We're all in this together.
Yep.
And we're all
High School Musical dance. Go.
All in dance.
All right.
You don't want to see that.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Oh my god.
That was just an impressive class.
So much love.
All the love.
As we mentioned at the top of the panel, like we mentioned all of our site names and everything, you can always reach out to any of us, and
I have business
if
cards
you
if
have
you
more
want, I can
questions, reach out to us. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of RTX. Happy RTX!